Well, welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and in today's video and tutorial we are launching the crochet challenges for September of 2014. We have for you in this challenge a container, but it's not just any container, it'll be your special container. Let me tell you a little bit more about this in just a sec. If you would like to fast forward to the tutorial now, just simply click on your screen and that will take you right to the start of the tutorial. If you're joining us with the challenge, here is what you need to know. So today's challenge, you're going to be working on a container, and this is a free pattern available by redheart.com, and you will notice that it has an owl face, and this is the actual true size of the container. You're going to need 2 balls of Red Heart Super Saver. You're not going to use the complete balls, but you'll get pretty close. And the reason why you're using that is that you're going to use 2 strands at one time to give you the thickness that you need in order for the container to stand up by itself. Now, here is the true challenge. Everybody has to complete one container, and it has to be the actual pattern, and it has to match the rows and etc. so that you get the height. So we all have different tensions. Even if the height does not match what's in the pattern but you have the same amount of rows, it's good enough for us. But here is what you need to do to make it even more exciting. Once you have your container done, it's basically a blank slate that is open to your interpretation. You do not have to do the handles, nor do you have to do the owl face that is on the container. My challenge to you is that you need to come up with, and you can use the owl face if you want because there are 3 different motifs, but you have to use a minimum of 3 crochet motifs to apply. You can do much more. You can add even mixed media. So for example, I have a felted flower here with a button. You can add mixed media to this as well, but 3 of them have to be crocheted. Now, does it have to be Halloween or fall? Absolutely not. This is your creativity. Maybe you want a Christmas basket. Maybe you want to make it Halloweenish as a serving thing for your front door. Maybe a toy container, so you might want a train or little dolls or something on the outside of it. Maybe for Easter. Maybe for even Valentine's. This is completely up to you. This is a great little storage bin. I have to tell you, I could even put Lego in the inside of this. So what we want from you is that you can choose any colors that you wish. You can mix up your colors so they do not have to be all one solid. You can use variegated. You can use any yarn that you can get your hands on. You need to use 2 at one time to keep it from collapsing. And then basically the outside, as long as you do 3 crochet motifs, is completely up to you. Add ribbons, buttons, as long as that there's creativity on the outside. And when you snap a photo of it, we need to at least see the 3 motifs. So for example, this for me, I would probably put on my show and tell table. So what I'm going to do is that I've only embellished only a partial side of it because I know the back side is not ever going to be seen. So this is a great opportunity for you to really explore your creativity. Now, if you decide to decorate all sides and the motifs are not visible within the camera view, you'll just have to take multiples of photos and send it to us so that we can be sure that you did get your 3 motifs done. So the challenge is going to run from September 1st all the way to September 30th until 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. We have a great giveaway from redheart.com today, and we're going to load this up with some fun stuff. We have a sterling silver crochet hook necklace from Furls Crochet Hooks in this package. We have even this, for example, it's a metal platform that you put the magnets so that you can put your pattern on and then just move the magnets down. And of course, our friends at redheart.com has got us hooked up with some yarn that you can play with. What a great opportunity for trying some free samples. So if you'd like to see something really cool, an opportunity to be featured on Facebook, even in our newsletters, this is a great opportunity. So without further ado, let's go on down to the studio and I'll show you how to make one of these containers right now. To begin, we're going to be using 2 balls of Red Heart, and it's a 7-ounce ball just like so, and you can find that on your crafting stores. So you need 2 strings working together. That's why there's 2 balls, so that we're always working with 2 strings as if they're 1. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do this. Now you'll notice that when I turn this around, it looks like it's a basket weave, and it certainly is. Now I've never seen a basket weave done in this way. That's what attracted me to do this as a tutorial. But what was more interesting for me is that we start off at the bottom just like so, and we work our way into circles. But there's something really weird about the edging. Now normally in hats, if you can identify that when you go from this to a flat edge, you will notice that it never goes like a 90-degree angle, just like this. This pattern has been designed in a way that you will get that 90-degree angle, and when I got to that point I was so confused, and then I realized what the designer was thinking, and then I thought it was pretty brilliant. So you're going to be able to decorate your container any way that you wish. You can see that it has you know, great properties to it, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun. So today we're going to use a 6.0 millimeter or a size J crochet hook with 2 balls of Super Saver running at the same time. And may your creativity be with you as you carry on. Today you also will be needing a stitch marker to help you count your revolutions as you go around. So let's begin. We're going to create a slip knot just like so, with using both strands at one time. So I'm using 2 different colors to make it very easy for you to tell, and then we're just going to create a slip knot as normal. And remember, there's other slower tutorials available on how to learn crochet if you need them. Now what we're going to be doing at this moment is that we're going to start off with the center ring at the very bottom of the bottom of the container. So we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's join this with the ring. So we're going to go into the very first chain that we started with, grab the yarn and pull through to form the first interior ring that we're going to go. Take the stragglers, just wrap it around and just hold it as we move on to the next round. Okay, round 1 says to chain 3, and it says count as a double crochet from here and on out, and because it's double crochet you just have to, you know, work on it. It goes really relatively quickly. So I've just chained 3, and we're gonna put 11 double crochets into the center of that ring, and it's gonna cause it to rotate around. Okay, so we're just going to continue to do that, and remember that the chaining of 3 does count as a double crochet, so in actual fact you should have 12 of these by the time you get all the way around. And what we're going to do then is join it with a slip stitch, and then we are going to put a stitch marker in to help us. Now occasionally you will drop yarn. The two sometimes don't always work well together, so just be conscientious of that. It does make a difference, so try to, when you drop it, to pick it up before completing the rest of the stitch. Please make sure you have 11 double crochets with the chaining of 3, total of 12, and then I'll meet you back up in just a moment. Okay, I have a total of my 11 double crochets plus the chain 3, which gives you a total of 12, and then we just want to come to the very top of where we started the chain 3 and just join it with a slip stitch like this. And what I want you to do, just pull up like this and insert your hook into the stitch that's right underneath, and grab your stitch marker. In my case it's just spare yarn, and we're gonna mark that like so, so that we know whenever we hit this point that it's going to be the start and stop. So we're gonna move that stitch marker up as we go, and it's a very easy way to quickly identify your stitches as you go. So if you buried this yarn here, let's just grab our scissors and cut that at this point like so, and then that will be out of the way, and then we can continue the rest of this tutorial. Okay, round 2 we're going to start up, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Remember, that counts as a double crochet, and what we want to do is that we want to put right where that started another double crochet, and the next stitch, okay, is right here. Okay, so see how it's kind of leaning towards you, and you're going to put 2 double crochets into every stitch going all the way around. So the secret is that if you have 12 spokes here and you're putting 2 into each one, that means by the time you're done this round you will have a total of 24, and that totally makes sense. So you'll see at the end of the instructions it says 24 DC. That's exactly what that means if you've never followed an instruction before. So continue to put 2 double crochets into every stitch around, and we're going to join with a slip stitch and finish off round number 2. Okay, and coming all the way around, and make sure I get that last one in. You can see it here, and just really easy. See how I just dropped one? I want to make sure that I don't ever do that. So it does take a bit of getting used to, I will say. So this is a great way to how to thicken up your afghans too, if you're ever thinking about that. So we want to join it to the top of the beginning chain 3 that we started with, and before we continue, let's just grab that stitch marker. So we're going to insert the hook on the underside of that where that loop is coming out of, and grab that stitch marker and just feed it through this new one. And so it's going to happen here is that you'll see that the stitch marker is going to follow a line all the way up, and so then that completes off round number 2. Okay, round number 3, let's begin. We're going to start off with the chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and now we're going to start expanding. So the next stitch is right here, Okay, do you see the spokes? Just follow them up, makes it sense, and then there's going to be 2 double crochets in that one. Okay, so the other one we started off with double crochets right into the beginning, but this one here we're now starting to expand out, so the circle has to grow equally. So the next one is just going to be by itself. So the next double crochet is by itself, and then the next one has 2. So that is the pattern going all the way around in order to make this work. Okay, so just review again. So 1 by itself, and then the next stitch is going to have 2, and please do that same configuration all the way around. I'll meet you back up and slip stitch and carry on. Okay, I'm coming all the way back around, and I have another fabulous tip. So I have 2 stitches left, and I've just finished off with 2 into the same stitch. Because of the way that this pattern works, you will always end up with the double 2 stitches together in the final stitch of every rotation when we're doing the circle part here. So the final stitch will always have 2, and if your count is off and you end up with 1, then you know something is wrong or you've miscounted along the way. So we're going to join the top of the beginning chain 3 just like so, and let's move up that stitch marker and call this quits for round number 3, and let's please move up to round number 4 next. See how easy it is to do that stitch marker, and you're keeping it in balance at the same time. Let's please move up to round number 4, and we're going to start off with the chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and the first stitch that you run into is going to be by itself. It's going to be a double crochet by itself, and so then the next one is going to be 2 double crochets. So here is another tip for you. You love tips, so I'm going to give you one. So do you see how there's 2 single crochet or 2 doubles by themselves? This chain 3 counts as 1. So that's the configuration going all the way around. So there's going to be 2 double crochets that stand alone, and then the next one that you end up with will have 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So I always kind of remember it as like a configuration of 2 and 2, so 2 2 double crochets in a row, and then the next one is then 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And however it is for you to remember, that's up to you, and that's just the way that I remember myself. And so again, I just dropped 1. I'm making it look more difficult than it is. Sometimes it's harder to film in front of a camera than it is to sit on the sofa and actually do it. So continue that same configuration of 2 double crochets by themselves and then 2 together, and keep going all the way around. So I'm coming up to the close to the end of round number 4, and I just want to say something. So I have 2 double crochets here in the same, and then I have 3 stitches left, and so basically keeping with the same configuration of 2 that are standing alone by themselves, 2 double crochets. The next one is then 2 into the same one. You can see that I have not miscounted anything along the round, because if you end up with the 2 at the final, then you know you've done a great job. So what we have to is just join it with a slip stitch like so. Let's move our stitch marker up 1 more as we go and complete off round number 4, and let's move on to round number 5 next. Okay, this project is going really quickly. Let's go round number 5. We're going to start off with the chaining of 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to put the next 2 double crochets in. They're going to be by themselves. Okay, so this is not quite the same as the last one, and the reason for it is, remember that chaining of 3 counts as 1. So therefore there's actually 3 standalone double crochets, and then the next one is going to be 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So your configuration for this round, for round number 5, is that there's going to be 3 double crochets by themselves, and then the next one is going to have 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Please do that same configuration all the way around, and I'll meet you back up at the end. We only have to expand one more time because this is going so quick that we're almost at the full diameter at the bottom of the container. Okay, let's finish off round number 5 together. We have our doubles in there, and now we're just going to put 3 in a row, so 3 double crochet, and I happen to have 4 stitches left, so that means I have not lost count along my journey, and so then the final stitch has your double, just like so. Let's join that with the slip stitch, and we are going to move up. We're going to join that, and let's move that stitch marker up, and we're going to move up to round number 6. Round number 6 is the final round before is the final round of expanding the diameter. So this is already at the level now that the container bottom is almost done. So let's move up to round number 6 next. To begin round number 6, we're just simply going to chain 3 like we already know, and then the next 3 are going to be by themselves. So just starting right here and just go in for double crochet for 3. Remember that chaining of 3 counts as a double crochet, and so in actual fact in this revolution there are 4 double crochets standing alone before putting to a double. So we have our 3 in there and now 2 double crochets into the same one. So again, this one, just a quick review, round number 6 is 4 double crochets by themselves. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and the next one is 2 into the same stitch. Please do that same configuration all the way around. So I'm just finishing up round number 6, and again we're going to finish on the double at the end. So now what we're going to be doing is changing the game plan. Now in the very beginning I told you that we're going to do something weird in the side. So the last stitch is 2 double crochets. Let's just join that with the slip stitch. Even if you've miscounted along the way, I'm going to show you how to cheat that as well. And basically it's join with a slip stitch and then move that stitch marker up, because the round number 7 is a lot is interesting. It shows you how to do a lip so that you have a nice flat base so that your container will grow properly and straight up at the same time. So let's begin. We're looking at round number 6, that's right here, and round number 7 and 8 is going to be playing with this same round again. We're going to be creating a lip, and you really cannot see it on the project, so I can't even just pull it up and show you. So I'm just going to begin to show you right now. So we're going to chain 1, and it says on this one here, this is round number 7. It says working the front loops only, single crochet into the same stitch as you joined. Okay, so we're going to do that, front loops only. So let's do that. Same stitch that you joined. Okay, and we're doing the front only. Okay, and I'll explain that in just a sec. So the front loops, if you're not aware, so there's 2 always. So these are considered 1 stitch when you're used together. So if you do front loops only, that means that you're going to grab the loops that are in the front side only, and if you do the ones on the back side, those are the back loops. So what this is saying for this particular round is that we're going to single crochet into the front loops only, going all the way around of this one here. So we just simply just come into the front side only and single crochet. So we just come up. So normally we would go across and grab both, but we're just going to come up and just grab the first one. And what this is doing is leaving a gateway for us to be able to do some fancy lip work at the bottom of the container. So what's happening here at this point, let me explain this to you. The back loops is going to leave a ridge, and we're going to use those in round number 8. So continue all the way around using the front loops only to single crochet, and then I'll move you to round number 8 next. Okay, I'm still continuing along. Round number 7, I'm just finishing up and getting my last one in, and then I'm going to come to the first single crochet and just join like this. So just join it, make sure I grab both in there and join them too. So I'm going to move that stitch marker up. Once we get to the basket weave area, you don't really have to worry about that stitch marker, but for now it's better to put it in just in case you are getting lost at this point. So let's just pull that tight, and let's move on to round number 8, and round number 8 is another special round. Okay, so what we need to do then for round number 8 is that we just simply have to look back to round number 6 where we see the lift of those back loops, and we're going to chain 1 to start, and then what we just do is just flip it back. You can see the back loops there on round number 6, and we're going to single crochet with those all the way around. So what this has done is that it's made round number 7 stand alone on its own, so that you have a permanent lip at the bottom of your container, just like so. So it's a really great idea in order to really bring balance to it. It's actually really quite fabulous. So just please single crochet into the back loop of round number 6 all the way around, and I'll meet you back up, and we're going to be starting to do the basket weave in only 2 more rounds. Okay, I'm just finishing up round number 8, and so you can see there's a lip now. at the bottom. Okay, so this is what's going to sit down. So now we're ready to start doing the basket weave, but we have to prepare one more layer before we continue. So when we're coming all the way around, I want to make sure that I slip stitch to the top of the back area here. So I don't want to stick on this front, just stick to the back. Okay, so you will just make sure, just leave a little bit of extra slack so this is not being pulled up, so that it will just look like it's like this. Just leave a little bit of extra slack so it comes down. So let's begin. We're going to do round number 9. We're simply just going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and it's going to be really easy to tell your rounds at this point. And simply we are just going to double crochet into each one of the rounds all the way around. So this is preparing for the basket weave that will be starting next, and in order to have basket weave we have to have double crochets in already so that we can start playing with the front and the back posts as we go around. So please double crochet into each single crochet all the way around. I'm coming all the way back around, and I just want to finish off my last final stitch, but I'm not going to finish it off all the way. I'm going to stop right here. And off camera I'm running out of this yarn, so this is a great opportunity to show you how to change colors. So what we're going to do then is that I'm just going to grab some other spare yarn that I'm working with, and pink and white, talk about color clash. And basically I do not want to create a knot with this because you'll see it. Simply just put a loop onto the hook and just pull through, and that'll complete off that final stitch. And then using the new yarn, what I want to do is that I want to use the new yarn, so just put this aside, the 2 stragglers, the other side, and I want to finish the slip stitch with the new yarn like this. Okay, so this allows me to take a needle or a darning needle to hide in the loose ends afterwards. So let's begin. We're going to move up to round number 9. And round number 9 is really quite simple. We just have to follow the pattern. So let me pull up the sample that we are working with here. You'll notice that the basket weave here is consisting of 3 stitches. So what we have to do is that we have to commit to doing the stitch work on the very first one. So let's follow the pattern, and it says to chain 3. Let's begin. So chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and it says to back post double crochet around the next 2. Now this technically would be included as one of the 3. Okay, so that's what it's saying. So it's saying to do back post in the next 3. So we wrap, we come around the back and in between the posting area here and flip it out, pushing that post backward like that, and pull through and finish it off as a regular double crochet. This goes really quickly once you get the spin of it. Okay, so we wrap and we come to the next one, out and through the back, pop it and finish it with a double crochet. So instead of grabbing it by the top, we're grabbing it by the post. So the next 3 are going to be front post double crochet. So we wrap and we come in to the post here and pop it, okay, on the front side. And this is what's creating the interesting basket weave. Okay, so we do that 3 times in a row. So in the front, pop it. I don't know if pop it's the right word, but that's what I'm using. So you just do 3 in a row. So then the next 3 are in the back. So we wrap, coming from the back, pop through the front, okay, and then finish it. And that's all we're going to do on this whole entire round. So every third one, or every time we just do groups of 3 and then we just switch side we're going at. So I'm at the back right now. So I have my 3 done. Okay, and then we just come to the front side like this. So please do that all the way around, and I'm going to show you how to cheat the system just in case that you're off by 1, and how to finish it at the very end as we go all the way around. So I'm coming all the way around and I'm going to be on the front side here, and I should be on the front side because these are on the back side. I have to say I'm surprised I've got the right stitch count because on the original I didn't. I was off by 1. So what happens here is that if you have only 2 stitches left and you still have to do a set of 3, this is what I would recommend. So for example, we're gonna come on the front side and let's just say that there was 2 stitches left, but you have to make sure that there's 3. What you can do, and this is totally cheating but it's legal in my rule, so we can put 2 double crochets around the same post like this, and basically that creates 2, and then you can go in the next one just like so. It is a little bit obvious right here, but now what you've done here is that you've created it so it's going to be in balance for the remainder of this container. So this is the critical point right now where we have to establish that. Or you can just say, you know what, I only have 2 there, I'm not going to worry about it, I'm going to have 1 layer that looks like it's off. That's again your particular call on what you want to do. If you for example, say you have 4 here and you want to, so let's just say for example you have 4 and you should have only had 3. So to make 2 into 1 you can just do 2 together. So you can just come around the front post, okay, and not finish it, and then just go around the next post like this. This is how you would do a hat as well. So you have 2 posts here and then you pull through all 3, and basically that just became 1 at the very top. So that's how you can narrow it down as well, or leave it so that you have a group of 4. So those are kind of cheating techniques. You have to be in balance at this point. That's if instead of frogging everything, that's just the better way to go as far as I'm concerned. So once you get all the way around, we're going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3 like this, and then we're going to start the next game plan. To begin the next game plan, this basket weave changes every row. What does that mean? It means that we're going to have to reverse everything that we've just done. So what we're going to do is that we're starting off with a chain 3 just like we have been before, but this time see how it's on the back here and then this one's on the front. We're going to reverse. So we're going to, anything on the reverse will then pop out through the front. We're going to do front post double crochet on anything that is in the back. Okay, so there's going to be only 2 here because you have to chain up that 3 to equal that 3rd one. So these are on the front, so then this time when we come around we're going to come around the back and pop them backward. That's all this is. Now this is the first time I've ever seen it like this before. I've always seen Afghans where there's like several rows where you have to match the same thing. So if it's on the front post, you keep it on the front post for like 3 or 4 rows. This one here is reversing every row like this. Do you see that? So then the next one here, it's on the back, so this time we come forward, and the remainder of this whole container is just like this. So every row going right up to the top. On the very final row of this whole project, you were just going to single crochet around. So I'm gonna leave that for you because now you know how to either change color, you've already been able to make it in balance, and then you know how to do this. So you just have to go and just reverse it every row. So this time it's on the front, so this row coming in has to come from the back and vice versa, and continue to do that all the way up for the remainder of this container. So here's where I'm going to leave you today to do the remainder, because every row is identical as far as following it along. Just make sure you're reversing your stitches every row, and this is what you end up with. You end up with a beautiful basket weave. Now what you can do is that you can either count your rows, but you can actually count up 2. So you can go on a diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So you'll end up with 16 by the time you get to the top, and then you're just going to do a single crochet around the very top. You can add your handles as per the pattern, and then if you're doing the crochet challenges with us, you can apply your motifs and make it really fun and fabulous. Until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd, and we'll see you.